When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Sooner or later, Disney will come for your cash. Okay, I had to. So, anyways, it's been a while since I've done a tier list and done a video. But then again, a lot's been going on lately. I say that a lot, I guess. But you know what you know what life is like. I got jobs, you got things you need to work on in your personal life as well. And well, I'm glad to be back and do a video. So, I still plan to do my video where I talk about the top 5 or so videos that I think are m- are my favorite so bad it's good videos. For now, I'd like to do the Disney sequels. And by Disney sequels, I will also include the legit sequels, not just the directed DVD sequels or directed video sequels, whatever year it was made. But yeah, I've wanted to do this for a while, and I'm sure that you guys, well, maybe you have, maybe you haven't seen the videos where I've talked about my top 3 worst Disney sequels and my top 4 um, best Disney sequels. So you probably know some of the ones that are going to be on the best and worst list. So um, let's get started. And I've created the tier list to be a little different. I mean, okay, so this one I did not entirely create, so I did not put the videos here for now. So these are the different options. And when can I make that screen go away? Come on, where's the X button? Okay, so it likes to stick around. So here's here's what I'm doing for the tier list. Oh, there's the X button. Bye-bye. Okay, so we've got amazing. We've got good, great. Um, we've got okay, meh, could have been better. Got don't like. And in this case, it's like I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't really like it. Worst, absolute hate, definitely here. Um, we've also got 2 options because you've got the never seen. I we've got never seen, but that one looks good, and we've got the never seen that one, but doesn't look that good. So where does everybody fall? Well, first of all, um, I guess let's get started. Let's go with the Rescuers Down Under. I wonder where this goes. Immediately to the top because you know what? I love this movie. I love Rescuers Down Under. I As much as I do like the Rescuers movie and I appreciate it now as an adult and what it did and what a risk it was. I and in some ways and I think that Doug Walker doesn't give it enough credit for being adult and dark in the right ways. I mean, I don't and you have to have adorable moments to counteract those dark moments. And I thought the Rescuers did it well. The Rescuers Down Under perfected everything. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. I the the location is new for Disney. They go straight to Australia, though of course the boy doesn't have an Australian accent. And the animation in there looks amazing. It makes me want to go to Australia and explore the outback, and it make a it makes me want to fly a giant eagle. It's amazing. This is an amazing movie. It's well designed. The characters are intriguing. They develop Bernard and Bianca even more, and they even expanded on a joke with the Wrights brothers. So in the first movie, they had a character named Orville who flew the two rescuers to their location. Now, this time, they've got Wilbur. And if you don't get that joke, you need to look up the Wrights brothers. Orville and Wilbur Wright. Look them up. It's history. It's worth it. And the music is gigantic. I love it. And the villain in here, played by George C. Scott, oh my gosh, he sounds like he was born to play this role. But then again, the best thing about George C. Scott was that he always acted and looked and sounded like he was born to play any role that he was in. And rest in peace, man. And same to John Candy. You were awesome. Can't forget Bernard and Bianca. Rest in peace, guys. You guys were awesome. Yeah, this this was not only the best sequel, I would dare say this was even better than the first movie. I just for the adventure, the character development, and well, just how much fun it was. I love this movie. So yeah, let's move on then. An extremely goofy movie. I am sad to say that I have never seen this one, but on the plus side, it looks good. And I will just admit right now that you are probably going to see me put a lot of these on the never seen tier lists. So you can let me know um, if you think I should check them out. The Little Mermaid 2. I like some of the ideas in here, but the problem is it's rushed. The plot is very rushed. I how long was this movie? Let's see. Just doing a little research. Okay, so The Little Mermaid 2 runtime. Hour 15 minutes. That's shorter than most of their Disney movies. They're usually like an hour 20 minutes or an hour 30 minutes. This is short. I mean, I guess they didn't have much of the budget to do it, I guess. So they tried to work with the medium that they had. I They at least did a couple things right. I mean, I do like Melody, but I still think she could have been a lot more developed as a character. And I love Pat Carroll, and she does great doing her best, but I did not think this was her best role. I really thought that I well, pretty much this was a skinny version of Ursula, and they legit draw comparisons between Ursula and her crazy sister Morgana. And the motivations are rushed, the plot's rushed. Everything about it was just rushed. I mean, I still loved hearing Ariel sing, and I love every time she sings to her daughter. And kudos to Tara Strong for getting her dream role. Being able to work in The Little Mermaid, work alongside Jodie Benson, and play a major character in there. So, way to go, Tara Strong. Unfortunately, I am going to put it in the. I don't want to put it in the don't like category because I like ideas about it. So I'm just going to kindly say could have been better. I I just hope that you guys don't get mad at me for that. I mean, I know that a lot of people love this movie. And way to go for that. But I wanted to see a bond between Ariel and Melody I shown and not just explained to us. And I wanted to see this movie take some time. I I will also say that if the remake did get a Little Mermaid 2, way to go. I would have said well, and I would have also said your live action, you can take time with these characters. So please develop these characters. I but it is what it is. And I heard that we're not going to get a live action a live action Little Mermaid 2. Oh well. Well, moving on. Return to Neverland. When it comes to this movie, I actually remember seeing this in theaters for my best friend's birthday. Yeah, we went to see it in theaters, and I even remember the McDonald's toys. And when the McDonald's toys came out, I had no idea that this was being turned into a sequel. I just thought, oh, cool, Captain Hook and Peter Pan. But once I did see the movie, I liked it decently. I I didn't like a few things. Like I do not like the Lost Boys song. Yeah, I think that Huey Two said it best that these kids can't sing if their lives depended on it. I and the lyrics were just I and controversially, I didn't like the Lost Boys song in the first movie either. Yeah, I didn't like following the leader. I hope I don't get hate for that. But maybe that's a controversial opinion for another time. But yeah. I mean, though I guess this controversial opinion, I think this movie is a lot better than people give it credit for. So good, great, actually. Yeah, surprise, surprise. I think this is a good movie. What was another thing I didn't like? I did not like that octopus. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I thought it was funnier with the crocodile. I mean, the Captain Hook and the crocodile and Smee were a lot funnier together. The octopus, I mean, the octopus was scary. I guess they were trying to go for that, but what the heck with this thing? Like, why couldn't we have I the the crocodile? And on top of that, I it pops every time. I like there was a reason that the crocodile I had a tick tick sound because it swallowed a clock. There was no reason for the octopus to be popping except that its suckers stuck together a lot. Also, and I am gonna give spoiler territory. Sorry. Um, I really thought that the ending was. I mean, well, the last few seconds were rushed because um, this movie takes place in World War II, which kudos for that. And kudos for actually trying to take it seriously. But they rush it up with a very, very happy ending where the father comes home and everything's okay. Yeah, we're going to completely forget about the fact that the kids are supposed to be sent onto the trains the next day by order of the government. I, but I, if you want to see more detail on what I think of that, I'm going to just give you a link to my previous video for the best Disney sequels. And, well, I loved a lot about it. The characters were still intact. I loved Peter Pan. I liked Captain Hook. And I like that they kept elements from the original book that were not in the first movie, like the danger of not believing in fairies and what that does to Tinkerbell. And I kind of did like that Tinkerbell and Jane kind of develop a bond eventually. And I also like how Jane has to figure out the balance between growing up so fast and still being a kid. And I like that this movie explores that. This is a movie that didn't have to do this, but it felt like the writers wanted to and wanted to try it. I mean, because they were just given the instructions, make a Peter Pan sequel, and they're like, okay, what can we do with this? And they actually did a great job. And heck, the last few moments in in the ending where Peter Pan and grown up Wendy interact is actually very sweet. I loved that moment. So I guess moving on from that, let's see what's next. Oh dear. Cinderella 2. I do not like. I'm sorry. Uh, I will be accurate and say I do like a few things. Um, what did I like? I like the Anastasia story. That was easily my favorite part, but I think if they got rid of the Jacques turning human story, I think this could have been higher up. But this is dumb. And if they got rid of the book concept, I think that it would have been better. It was so dumb. A little background also. I remember when I went to my friend's house, my friend from church, and they said they were going to put on Cinderella. I'm like, great, I'm going to see Cinderella because I had never seen the animated Cinderella. Yeah, big shock. I grew up on the Rogers and Hammerstein version of Cinderella. I did not grow up with this animated version. So I was excited to see the first movie at long last. I was not anticipating that it was going to be the sequel. And I kept thinking, where's the ball? Where's the ball gown? Where's the fairy godmother turning the pumpkin into a carriage? Where was the magic? And oh my gosh. Yeah, the fairy godmother's there, but I the mice get bored after she finishes reading a story, and um and she's like, okay, you create your story, and they recount three stories that happened in the palace. I mean, the first one's okay, I where Cinderella has to adjust being a princess, but at the same time it was I found it a little dumb. The one that was really tediously dumb was the Jacques story. I didn't like that one at all. I cringed at every moment of it. I don't like the design of Jacques as a human at all. I don't like what the plot entails. However, I did like the story of Anastasia, I falling in love with the baker and finally defying her mother. I like that was incredibly satisfying and worth not going on the absolute hate. So kudos for that. I mean, I know that a lot of critics joke about how very forgiving Cinderella is to her stepsister, for tearing apart her dress, ruining her life, enslaving her. But I didn't mind because Cinderella is that kind of character who is very, very forgiving. So I could totally see her helping Anastasia, especially after seeing that she's in love. And especially to tell her, oh, your mother's, or to tell her that Anas, that I that Lady Tremaine is wrong about something, not always right. And it was satisfying to see Anastasia stand up to her abusive mother. Though, I will say that Doug Walker did have a point when he laughed about the fact that the stepsisters and the stepmother would want to go to the ball at all. I mean, yeah, they want to go to marry some lords, but I would they really want to go to the one that Cinderella is hosting with the prince? But otherwise, this I that story was actually really good. But the rest of the stories, I mean, the 2 out of 3 stories just didn't cut it for me. So, no, I didn't like it. Oh my gosh, and speaking of don't like, Hellfire, dark fire, now Hunchback 2, it's your turn. To the absolute worst. Oh man. I mean, it's not the top of the absolute worst, but it is there. Er, I don't know if I put it at absolute worst. Okay, I need to think about this. Sorry, but let's talk it through. Hunchback 2. I I get that it was made because how do you put it? People were unhappy that Quasimodo did not get a girlfriend. I didn't mind because you know what? Life is not always made up of getting the one that you like or even getting a boyfriend girlfriend. And Quasimodo learns to accept that and finds his own happy ending, which is um, being freed from living in the cathedral and exploring the world and gaining acceptance among the people that he helped rescue, in a sense, rescued. And I think that's an amazing ending. And Hunchback of Notre Dame is my favorite Disney animated movie. Well, as an adult, you could say, because I get it. I love it. Hunchback 2, on the other hand, I can forgive the animation because, again, budget, but the plot. You know how I complained about the Little Mermaid being rushed, I or the Little Mermaid 2 being rushed? This is even more rushed. Like, you don't really get to know how Quasimodo feels with Madeline. You only get it when it's thrown in your face. Like, it's not developed. It's not given time. I mean, you're given a scene with them, then you're given a scene with the Belle, then you're given a scene with the robberies, you're given the scene with preparing for the festival, the Jour d'Amour, which is, by the way, the festival of love. I which is called the best of all the festivals. So what does that make? What does that make the Festival of Fools? A joke? Or least better? And yeah, I and on top of that, the gargoyles are not subtle anymore I about being alive. Like, they do not hide it very well. They hide it very poorly. So it's no surprise that Madeline figures it out too, that they're alive. But how nobody other than Madeline, the goat, and Quasimodo figure it out, I have no idea. I mean, I'm all for Quasimodo getting a girlfriend if time is dedicated to them. And on top of that, Sarouche is a terrible, terrible villain. And I don't mean terrible as in diabolical. I mean, he is terribly written. Like, Michael McKean does a great job, with what he's given. Everybody does a great job with what they're given. I, but um, the way he's written is just he makes Alameda Slim look better, and that is hard to say. I mean, what is his main goal? His main goal is to get this diamond encrusted bell that is beautiful on the inside. Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Okay. Um, and on top of that, how is that bell supposed to ring? What's it even supposed to sound like? It sounds like any other bell, and there's just no subtlety to it. There is no there's no depth to it either. I mean, it's just all simplified. And on top of that, this villain does not make himself to be an actual threat or we don't see time dedicated to him being a threat. Because I mean, there's a scene where he's got a kid and he's just holding him and and threatening him, not with a knife or anything, just holding him. So really, at any point, Phoebus or Esmeralda or one of the guards could have grabbed that kid at any moment. If he was holding a knife to that boy, then yeah, definitely he'd be threatening. Or, I mean, Madeline talks about him being threatening, but we never see it. We've seen Frollo be threatening. They don't just talk about it. I We've actually seen Frollo kill a mother, almost drown her baby, assault Esmeralda, and falsely accuse who knows how many people in order to get to Esmeralda and almost kill Esmeralda also. So we saw Frollo earn that that villain title. We don't see Sarouche earn that villain title at all. So he was very weak. He was awful. He was poorly written. Everything about this was poorly written. And if you want more depth about how much I felt about this movie, I am gonna leave a link in the description for my worst videos or my worst Disney sequel videos. And I've spent a fair amount of time on here, so do I want to keep it on here? Hmm. Well, maybe I'll come back to it. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, a very merry Pooh year. I feel so bad that I did not see that. But thanks, Doug Walker, for reminding me that Winnie the Pooh is not just a kid's thing, but is something that adults come back to remember. So thank you for that. I'll have to check into it. 101 Dalmatians too. I have not seen. I've barely heard anything about it. Um, I don't want to put it into the doesn't look too good because that I that'd be wrong. I I don't know. But yeah, I've never seen this one. What do you guys think? Am I missing something? Lady and the Tramp 2, I can accurately say that I have not seen this one either. Oops. Um, I don't know why. I mean, it just didn't really pique my interest. I Fantasia 2000. I'm gonna slightly count seeing the segments, the segments in there. So I've not seen the conversations between the guest celebrities, but I have seen the musical segments, and they're amazing. Like they're gorgeous. I I love what they can do with music. I'm gonna put it behind Return to Neverland for now because well, I haven't really seen the musical or the segments with the guest celebrities. I know that we've got James Earl Jones in there, Steve Martin, etc. Um, but I liked what I liked the different musical compositions and the ideas that people had looking at this. Like, um, there's a segment with flying blue whales, and it looks gorgeous. Like, the animation in there gives them size and weight, and it's amazing. Um, the music score I am familiar with is the Carnival of the Animals, specifically the parade of the Carnival of the Animals. And I think it was both cute and funny to have the flamingo with the yo-yo in there. I it just makes me laugh every single time when I see it. And I also like the what do you call I liked I the one with the sprite at the end. It looked like something out of an anime. And On top of that, I also like the Rhapsody Blue. I think it's called. I forget what it's called. I'm gonna have to look it up again. Okay, so Knights of Rome. Hmm, Firebird Suite. In there. Yep, Rhapsody in Blue. Okay, that was gorgeous, and the animation style was unique. So yeah, this was a good one. So Fantasia 2000. Yep, that goes up there. Tarzan and Jane. Even as a kid, I was not interested in this. I haven't really seen it other than the animation bits and pieces, and it looks no. I know I need to forgive the animation. This really didn't look good at all. And even from what I've been hearing about it, the plots just look ugh. I mean, I just didn't like the idea of this at all. It shouldn't be that hard to make a Tarzan sequel. I mean, like this, I mean, Tarzan and Jane could go on so many amazing adventures through the jungles of Africa no other humans needed necessarily. They could just they could fight more leopards. They could encounter a herd of elephants. Um, another tribe of gorillas. See how he leads his gorilla pack against these other gorillas because gorillas are territorial. I like why can't we get that and less humans? And and I guess that's about all I could think of. I mean, am I misjudging Tarzan and Jane or have I judged it pretty accurate? You tell me. Return of Jafar, I have not seen. However, I've been hearing good things, and I did see a couple clips, but I have not seen the whole movie, so I hope you guys don't get mad at me. But yeah, I I I thought this movie was I thought this movie was okay. Or the idea I mean, I like the idea from what I've been hearing about it. And I mean, where Jafar comes back and he's even more threatening than before because now he's a genie. But the only problem is he's still tethered to the lamp. I and I did see the climax. Oh my gosh. I like that climax is just as heart-stopping as the first movie. And this was Disney's first direct-to-DVD sequel. And they still put some effort into the plot, even if the animation looks a little cheaper than the first movie. And I liked I liked that climax, and I liked that Iago redeems himself. And I still have to figure out who thought it was a good idea to let Gilbert Godfrey sing. I want names. I want addresses. And I want to have a good word with them because I'm sorry, nobody wants to hear that kind of voice singing. But yeah, I but otherwise I love some of the ideas in this. I should I see the movie or should I see the whole movie? And I you guys let me know. Jungle Book 2. I am so sorry. I do not like this one. I saw it while I was in church. I liked a few ideas from it, but keyword being few. I liked the I liked you got to see Mowgli miss the jungle. I like that you get to see him a little bit in the man village before he makes his way back to the jungle. And mm, what's the best way to describe it? I did like the temple fight. I really liked that temple fight where I Mowgli, his friend Shanti, and Baloo all confuse Shere Khan by banging on these huge gongs in order to throw him off his throw him off from finding Mowgli. I That was a really good and heart-stopping climax. But the rest of it I really felt like was so generic and just forgettable and not interesting. I I also controversially don't like um I don't like John Goodman as Baloo. I mean, he's no Phil Harris. I mean, like you could really get somebody who sounds like Phil Harris. I mean, maybe he can, maybe he can't. I mean, Tony J does his best sounding like the late George Sanders, but I but he even sounds intimidate. I mean, but his voice was villain magic anyways. John Goodman is just too recognizable in comparison. I can tell which one is Phil Harris and John Goodman. Like there's a distinct difference in their voices. So I don't believe him as Baloo at all, unfortunately, and that was one of my biggest problems with it. I know you can't get back Phil Harris, but I still think John Goodman was a mistake. I And plus, I was not really interested in in the way the movie played out. But that's just me. Atlantis too. Never seen, but I don't think that one looks good, or at least from what I've been hearing. Am I wrong? Stitch. Let's see. Stitch the movie. I am sorry to say I have not seen that, but it looks good. Does that count? Um, Lion King 1.5. All right, I'm gonna say this to Alpha Lion Simba, and I know you're gonna wanna say this as well, or you're gonna. I mean, I think I know what you're gonna say about it. I have not seen this one, so the reason being, Lion King was perfect, and I did not like the idea of Pumbaa and Timon supposedly tainting what happened in the movie. But then again, maybe I'm judging it too harshly, and I'm pretty sure that that Animat's gonna no, no, not Animat. I'm pretty sure that I I'm pretty sure that Alpha Lion Simba, you're gonna tell me that I am harshly judging that I harshly judged it. So I'll make an effort to see it. However, there was one scene that I did check that legit made me laugh, and it was the whole scene where where Timon and Pumbaa have to distract the hyenas from getting near Simba during the final fight, and um Timon throws shade at them with the joke, "Hey Pumbaa, what do you call a hyena with half a brain?" "Beats me, Timon. What? Gifted." And then outright, I mean, when he runs out of ways to distract the hyenas, he he outright proposes to Shenzi. I mean, like that was jaw-droppingly hilarious. So, Alpha Lion Simba, and anybody else, you tell me, have I judged it harshly as a kid? And should I go see it? Okay, you tell me. Okay, Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. I really don't know what to make of this. So I'll just put in the not seen it, but looks good. You guys tell me. The Tigger movie. Hmm. The wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber, the bottoms are made of springs, and they go on this list of pumps. I love it. I love the Tigger movie. I I love Tigger already. He's my favorite Winnie the Pooh character, bar none, and I just love how bouncy and excitable he is. And on top of that, he actually wants a family and not realize. I mean, and the theme of this movie is realizing that your family is right with you. That home is where the heart is, and even when you can't find your family right away, your friends count as family if you let them. And I also like the subplot of Rue wanting to be his Tigger's little brother, and the way he tries to prove it is by trying to achieve the whoop-de-dooper, loop-de-looper, alley-ooper bounce, um, also known as the hardest bounce for Tiggers to do, and it looks fun. So yeah, I love this movie, and I think it's great. The a Piglet's big movie. I feel so bad that I treated myself to be too grown up for this movie. I was so pompous when I was a teenager, thinking I'm too old for Winnie the Pooh. I should never have thought that. So thanks again, Doug Walker, for reminding me that Winnie the Pooh is not just for little kids, but for adults to come back and remember. I so I'm gonna have to check that out. So never seen but looks good. This also never seen but looks good. This one, Springtime with Rue, never seen but that already looks good. Um, The Three Musketeers, that automatically is a never seen but looks good. I it's Mickey, Donald, and Goofy as the Three Musketeers. Like, how can you go wrong? Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Oh, that most definitely looks good. I mean, this movie already did one thing right that I did not like first from the first movie. What's it? Oh yeah. Um, so I first thing that it did right, aside from the animation, was basically bringing back Robin Williams. Castellaneta is a great voice impressionist, but Robin Williams is comedic magic in a way that nobody could ever catch up to. So yeah, that's a huge plus having Robin Williams come back as the genie. A great try, Dan Castellaneta. Great try, but mm, could be better. Mulan 2. I've seen bits and pieces of this, and the bits and pieces, unfortunately, I didn't like. There was a huge thing that I did not like about this. I didn't like what they did with Mushu. Like, what did you do with my Mushu? He truly is unlikable in this one. I mean, he's the villain hands down. Like, I forget the Huns, forget the Mongols that China has to team up against. It is Mushu in this one who is the absolute villain in this one. He um he sabotages Mulan and Shang's attempt I I to get married. I All because that he's going to lose his position as her guardian. I mean, I hated him for that. I hated what he did to her and to Shang. And as for the marriages, it was okay. I mean, I can't really say much about the princesses and about the three princesses and and the three guys from the army whom they link up with. But I will also say that Doug Walker did make a great point in saying that um, they put a lot of emphasis on the fact that if they don't get married to these three princes from another kingdom, then um, then the alliance is going to fall apart and China could easily be destroyed. So um, there's no wrap up about what happens to China afterwards. If they had the great, I mean, if they had Mushu as the great dragon, say, um, Mulan and Shang can get married. Oh, and team up with China so that they don't lose against the Mongols. I That would have been great, but they don't do that. They don't do that. I so the movie has completely dropped their major plot. I or completely forgotten about it. And on top of that, Mushu in this movie is irredeemable as far as I'm concerned. I Irredeemable. I didn't like him in this one. I love him in the first movie. I mean, Eddie Murphy makes him iconic, and nothing against the voice actor who replaces Eddie Murphy in Mulan 2. He gives it his best, but Mushu, the way he was written, I he was he was absolutely despicable. Tarzan 2. I'm sorry. I mean, the animation looks good, but I don't like the idea of this movie at all. I We already went into, I mean, it was only a few minutes obviously in the first movie, but we already delve into Tarzan figuring out whether or not he belongs with the gorillas. But they take a whole amount of time with this one, and um the characters, just from the looks of it, have been turned into annoying. So I didn't like this one. I mean, I don't like the idea of this one. It doesn't look good. Could I be wrong? Perhaps. You guys tell me. Okay. Lilo and Stitch 2. Sorry to say, I have not seen, but it does look good. It's Lilo and Stitch. You can't, I mean, how can you do anything wrong with it? Let's see. Heffalump Halloween. Not seen, but it looks good. Am I missing something? Kronk's New Groove. The animation looks good. I don't know what to say about it. Bambi 2. Well, from the bits and pieces I've seen, it actually does look good. I love that dream sequence that he has where he sees his mother again and asks her, "Why did you have to go?" And she doesn't answer why other than where one thing falls, another grows. I mean, that was a gorgeous scene, and I like the idea in here of Bambi developing time with his father and bonding with him. Kudos to this movie for actually taking the effort and not doing what I thought they would do, which was um, just nothing but a, how do I put it? Basically, what Fox and the Hound 2 would do later. I come up with a completely nonsensical plot for Bambi and Thumper um and Flower just because they look so cute. I mean, they're still cute, and I don't mind seeing them in the movie, but I like the emotion in this one. Bambi was an emotional movie in a lot of ways. I mean, from the animation, the music, the plot, and the characters. So, seeing Bambi 2 try to recapture that is big time kudos to them for that. And on top of that, Patrick Stewart I as the father is perfect. Like nobody else, I in my opinion, could have been that character of the Great Prince. I So kudos for that. What's next? Um, Brother Bear 2. Not really seen, so I can't really say much about this one. Though I do like the animation and how it looks. And I think the idea of it sounds really interesting. Where Kenai has had a girlfriend in his past, but their bond is still strong, and um, the spirits do not. I do not forget that bond apparently, and I also like the ending where where she chooses to stay with Kenai. I really liked it. Next. Oh, there's my water bottle. Yes. I need a good water, a swig of water before I do this. Fox and the Hound 2. And hell hath no fury than I who absolutely how did the Grinch say it? Hate, double hate, loathe entirely this movie. Fox and the Hound to begin with has is not is not a movie I loved or anything. I watched it a lot as a kid, but I didn't diehard love it the way I did Alice in Wonderland, Mary Poppins, or later on Hunchback of Notre Dame. But I I loved the themes of it. I loved the story of it. And I did watch it a lot, but it was not my favorite Disney movie. And I saw that there was a trailer for Fox and the Hound 2, and it gave absolutely no hint on what was going on. Then eventually I happened to pass by the Nostalgia Chicks. I have I happened to pass I but then eventually I passed by the Nostalgia Chicks review of the top 10 worst Disney sequels. And when she came to the Fox and the Hound 2, this is what she had to say. And I'm just gonna plug in the speaker. Okay. And share the screen. So let's see. Let's see. Wrong one. Let's see. Hopefully I don't get copyright for this. Okay. So this was all she had to say in order to throw me into shock.
In The Fox and the Hound 2, a midquel, Copper and Todd join a band. I'm not kidding.
All right. Back to the list. And as soon as I heard her say that, I was completely shocked, gasped, and was like, how in the world? What? Oh my gosh, how? Like, how in the world do you take a Fox and the Hound and turn it into a story about them in a band? Like, you cannot be serious. You cannot be serious about this. If you want more about how this movie was horrible from beginning to end, I'm going to leave a link for probably my favorite review on it, which is Loudmouth Reviews for Fox and the Hound 2, and he actually does a great job. I also threw in my own comments, like I really hated Chief's voice. I know that he's voiced by one of the best voice acting giants, Rob Paulson, but he does not sound anything like Pat Buttram whatsoever. It's painful, and the slapstick's painful, and um, and these dogs, are they supposed to be singing or just howling? And what are the humans hearing that makes them intrigued to this spot? Seriously, they try to quote unquote explain it, and they don't do a good job at it. And the only line, and on top of that, Copper's singing sounded awful. I mean, I'm sure that there's worse singing, but oh my gosh, seriously. And there was just so many bad children's cliches in this one. And of course, the liar revealed, of course. Yeah, we had to have that one. Yeah, that counts as that also counts as bad children's movies cliches, because it didn't work in this one. I I could kind of forgive Hunchback too, because there was an absolute betrayal in there, but Fox and the Hound too, I don't forgive this one. I don't forgive um them in that one, and I feel so bad for both Reba McEntire and Patrick Swayze. They're better than this. They deserve better than this. The one scene that I half liked and didn't like at the same time was where both Todd and Copper's owners were looking for their pets, and they run into each other, and um, both of them kindly say, and Widow Tweed says, "If I see your puppy, I'll bring him back home." And for once, Amos Slade actually is like, "Well, if I see the fox, well, mm," basically indicating that this time he won't try to hunt it down. Even though that was completely out of character in the first movie, I kind of did like that these two who really did not like each other were willing to help each other for once. So, yeah, I that part was slightly okay, but otherwise it was really not in keeping with the first movie. And on top of that, there was no way that this movie could work as a midquel, because the first movie had an absolute timeline between Todd and Copper hanging out and meeting with each other and the winter trip, and that was a matter of 3 days. In the movie, no other timeline. 3 days was all it took, and this movie completely ruins it. How would I fix this movie? Well, the only way I can think of is if you put in the Aristocats in there, because you could really put anybody in this scenario and it wouldn't matter. I Except for Fox and the Hound, clearly. Like, you seriously could have used the Aristocats in here. Fox and the Hound 2 does not work in any universe, and unlike something like Hunchback 2, where I could think of a, a scenario that could make the movie work, I can't for Fox and the Hound 2. I hate this movie so much. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it for what it is. Absolutely hate it. And yes, that's a strong word, but I mean it. I hate this movie so much. Moving on. Let's see if we could do something better. Oh, yeah, we can. Cinderella 3. Um, okay. Come on. Oh, too high, too high. Okay. Where do I want to put? I'm going to put it in amazing. Yeah. I mean, I did not think that this could even be possible, that Cinderella 3 could be amazing, but they actually did it. And they did a dang amazing job on it. I Cinderella 3 works in a way that I didn't think it could. I mean, the first 5 minutes, I was super cheesy, and I thought, you cannot, you can't be serious. And it looks like something that you would expect to happen after Cinderella 2, kind of. I but but then after Anastasia accidentally gets the fairy godmother's wand, that's where the movie gets amazing. I and the scenario shouldn't even work. It's about time traveling. But it works. I The stepmother uses the fairy godmother's wand to go back in time, erase Cinderella's happily ever after, and go back to the moment where the Duke has to try on the shoes of every maiden in the kingdom. And she she rigs it I so that the shoe fits Anastasia, and Anastasia's the one who um is to be the prince's bride to be. And Cinderella comes out of her room too late. And she has to figure out how to get her happily ever after back. Like, this is amazing. And it had no right to, I mean, it didn't have to be. Like, this is the, this is the, this is the direct to video sequel with the most effort in it. That shouldn't be possible. But it is. To a point where even people who didn't like Cinderella were very interested on what was going to happen next. They felt sorry for Cinderella, and they wanted to see Lady Tremaine finally put to an end. I still remember watching a reaction video with Smurf Vlogs. Subscribe to him, by the way, if you can, with Smurf Vlogs. And he kept begging throughout the entire thing, somebody punch her in the face, somebody punch her in the face. And during the final fight, where Cinderella and Anastasia confront Lady Tremaine and Drizella, I mean, I still remember him shouting, can someone finally punch her in the face? It was amazing. And this movie makes you earn that. Or this movie earns the energy and excitement and anxiousness from its audience. It does everything right. In a way that nobody thought it could. I and It even ties into the sequel of Cinderella 2. Yeah, that sequel that I didn't like, it still ties it in. And it didn't have to do that. It could have totally retconned that movie. And I still wouldn't have minded. But I mean, well, other than the Baker story, and they tie that in. They show in the end credits that Anastasia still finds the baker. I love that. And I didn't notice this until I saw Doug Walker's review of this. Um, they tie in the servant from the sequel. You didn't have to do that, but they did it. So kudos. This movie is phenomenal. It's hitting all the right notes in all the right ways. So totally amazing. This was an amazing movie. So what's next? Uh-oh. The Little Mermaid 3, Ariel's Beginning. Um Where to put this? Do I put this in don't like, or Meg could have been better? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Um, I'm gonna put in the Meg could have been better because I do like a few things about it, but yeah, the plot was weak. My gosh, these Little Mermaid sequels deserve so much better. Whereas the Little Mermaid 2 was so rushed, Little Mermaid 3, Ariel's Beginning, is footloose. Footloose. Disney's Footloose. I and it doesn't work. I I like the first couple minutes where it talks about Ariel's backstory, where I, where her mother is killed by humans, but then after that, it just trails because um, it's really about her love of music, and the king banishes it from the kingdom. Really, I mean, really, that's the plot. I mean, that should have been the plot on how and why he banished, or why he did not allow mermaids to ever go to the surface, or at least only go there once on their 15th birthdays. That should have been the plot. I And yes, their 15th birthday, because if you I grew up on the Little Mermaid story read along storybooks, and I looked at and I've heard the story. I've heard the tapes through for Ariel in the Secret Grotto and Ariel in the Mysterious World Above. Check them up on YouTube if you ever get a chance. They're actually intriguing stories, in my opinion. But yeah, it could have tied in with all with those stories, and tied in with the TV show, um, and shown why going to the surface was not okay, and it's because of it's because humans killed Ariel's mother. I But instead, it has to be about music. Why? Why did it have to be about music? Where did this plot come from? What was the story writing in this one? But I will also say did like I mean, I like that the sisters are given more personality. I mean, each one is distinct. Whereas in the first movie, they have absolutely little to no personality, other than they can sing, and they figure out pretty quickly that Ariel's in love. Ariel was the only one that ever stood out from her sisters. But this one actually gives them time, personality to and space to breathe and be characters. What? Oh, Flounder, what did they do to you? What did they do to you? Oh my gosh. I The lines they give Flounder are so annoying. Like, I get he's trying to be cool and hip for kids, but there was nothing cool and hip about Flounder. He was a scaredy fish who cared about his friend Ariel, and if she ever got in trouble, he he would still be intimidated, but he would also try to help if needed. And he played a key role in trying to help her get her happy ending in the first movie, and in the second movie, he actually tries to help her and her daughter Melody. But here, he's obnoxious, obnoxious, and and on top of that, why couldn't we get why couldn't this have the backstory of Ursula? Like, this has all the key roles for Ursula's backstory. But nope, it's a completely different villain that has no little to no effect on the plot. And on top of that, it's just I her style is just, what the heck? All she's concerned about is being the king's right-hand mermaid? Seriously? Wouldn't she want to, oh, I don't know, be the queen? I almost like what Ursula tried to do, or something like that. I This was your chance to pull off Ursula's backstory. I but I do like a few moments. This was King Triton's movie where he was grieving his wife for all these years, and I like that. He's really got a huge personality in this movie, and I love him for that. And I like the animation in here. It's gorgeous. And I still love hearing Jodie Benson sing. as Ariel, and I like that song. I remember it's beautiful, and even though Shakes and Yorish has no business in being in a fantasy underwater world, I still like it. I have a guilty pleasure for it. But I really would have liked if this plot was about, well, one, uh, why the why the mermaids never go to the are never allowed to go to the surface or ever interact with humans. They're biased towards humans being born. Two, how Ariel learns to sing. I and three, Ursula. Ursula's backstory. Four, yeah, how Triton works through his grief. I like that this movie kept that plot, but it could have kept even more. This was a weak movie, in my opinion. It's not the worst, but it really, really could have been better. Um, what's next? I feel so bad. I'm gonna have to put a bunch of these in the looks good but haven't seen. Like Pooh's Grand Adventure, I have not seen yet. Tinkerbell, I've not seen at all. I've unfortunately not seen these Tinkerbell movies. I am so sorry. Am I missing something, guys? Are these good? Should I check them out? Frozen 2. I actually, uh, regarding this movie, I think this is a good one. I I don't think it's the best or anything, but I think that I I think Frozen is overhated and Frozen 2 deserves some love. I mean, like, I think this is a good movie for a variety of reasons. I mean, I get why people don't like the fact that there's no stakes or sacrifices, or the sacrifices are retconned. But I love the lore in here, and I love that Anna, um, after losing Olaf, finally realizes what she needs to do to help her people. And it was a song that helped me during a huge time of grief when I lost one of my dear friends, not to death, but to betrayal. And the song was something that I moved on, that moved on me a lot. And I just like the idea of this movie. And of course, Idina Menzel's voice is always magic. So, um, I I like how there are I mean that the lore and even the song from the first movie ties in with it ties in with the sequel, and I love the relationship between Anna and Elsa developing even more. And that's something I've always liked from these Frozen movies is the relationship between Anna and Elsa as sisters. Okay, Wreck-It Ralph 2. Let's see. Come on, get back up there. We are unfortunately gonna have to put it in meh, could have been better. I am actually a little disappointed with this movie. I mean, there are a lot of things I did like about it, but I mean, I love the princess jokes. That was awesome. And I even loved when the internet made well, reverse the genders by having the princes meet with Ralph. And I wrote my own thing in there. I, and I love the way the Disney princesses kind of poke fun at their tropes. Like when they ask Vanellope what kind of princess she is, if she's got magic hair, magic hands, if she was a or if she did things to get a to become a princess, like if she was poisoned, cursed, kidnapped, or enslaved, or ultimately, if people assume all her problems got solved because a big strong man showed up. I like that was hilarious. That was genius. And I do like some of these internet jokes too. Like I love what they do with spam and um but what I didn't like about this movie was that Vanellope dodges her responsibilities. I She's president slash princess of a sugar rush, and she's completely abandoned it. And on top of that, Ralph gets over obsessed with her. I I get it. She's kind of the only friend that he's had in a while, and if she stays in the if she stays on the internet, then he's rarely going to get to see her. But he's actually got a point because um, if she's not in Sugar Rush, she's basically abandoning her game. I she's a key player in there, and unless the internet finds a way to replicate her, she cannot abandon the game unless because if these characters abandon their games and they die outside their games, they're permanently gone. I, and they do not resolve that for Vanellope at all. So potentially in this new racer game on the internet, she could potentially die and not get replicated. That is not explained. And on top of that, why are we having Ralph be the villain? I mean, like, he's the one with the point. I mean, yeah, he's being selfish, but he still has a point. I that without Vanellope, the game could be lost. But otherwise, I love the animation and I actually love every moment that the Disney princesses are on screen. However, the other thing is maybe it's just me, but I don't like the animation on some of the princesses, mainly because the translation from hand drawn to CGI looks wrong on some of them, like Cinderella. Oh my gosh, she doesn't look right on in CGI, and Pocahontas looks very wrong in CGI. However, Ariel looks great. I thought Tiana looks great, but some things you just need to leave hand drawn or do a take two on the animation. But I love it. For that. I and but yeah, could have done better. But still not the worst. Beauty and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas. This is a tricky one. I have seen parts of it, but I think it's not bad. I'm gonna put it in the I'm gonna put it in the okay could have been better section because frankly, I don't think it's great or I don't think it's great. I think some parts are good, but other parts could have been so much better. Belle's character, she was really overly dependent on the beast. I get it. She does grow a bond with him, but mm, I this just Belle just seemed very generic in this one compared to the first movie. I and I actually did like the addition of a few things. Like I kind of thought it was an interesting idea that that the Beast resents Christmas because that's when he was transformed. So yeah, I get why he would hate Christmas for that. But and I also like the animation in here. The animation's actually not that bad. Yeah, it looks not. It's nothing superior. I mean, it's it's nothing superb compared to the animation in the first movie. The first movie that wasn't. I mean, that was nominated for best film, and the animation in there was amazing. But yeah, I loved Tim Curry in this one. Oh my gosh, they picked they picked an amazing role for him and a unique character, just a unique character as well. He's basically an Oregon that actually likes his new form. That's actually something new, and he wants to keep Belle from falling in love with the Beast because she wants to keep the Beast from falling in love with Belle because if that happens, then the spell is broken and everybody turns back to human eventually when the rose is completely wilted. And that's actually a pretty interesting concept. And anytime Tim Curry is on screen, I will make all sorts of Pennywise jokes because it's too easy. And I actually did like the scene where I liked that he also tricks Belle into getting a tree from from further out in the forest, and tries to make sure that she dies. So that's a diabolical plan. That's a villain that actually tries. That actually is threatening. But then again, if you're voiced by Tim Curry, you're automatically going to be threatening. I I don't know what it is. Tim Curry and Tony J, they just had those kind of voices that were naturally villainistic. Like, you cannot get them to play the good guy in the right way. And how come it is that Belle trusts him? You don't trust a villain voiced by Tim Curry, but I digress. And I actually did like Fife and his character arc. I So yeah, this direct-to-video sequel was actually or midquel. I don't think it was that bad. I I don't think it's great, but I think it's good. I It takes time with these characters, tries to give them a good story, and really treats these characters with respect. Which which is more than what I can say for my next one. Hate is a strong word, and that's exactly what I feel about this one. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I should congratulate myself or cry that I've had to watch this movie. Maybe both. I felt like I was watching characters go to a guillotine and getting chopped up. Oh my gosh. Like, what? This is Belle's magical trash is really awful. Like, seriously awful. I, the animation, mean, the animation's so cheap. I could forgive that as best as I could, but the plot and the characters, what did you do with them? This makes me want to apologize for any negative critique I had I I for the Enchanted Christmas. And I'm pretty sure that would make anybody who didn't like Enchanted Christmas feel sorry for what they said about it after watching Magical World because it looks awful. It is awful. It talks awful. The characters are just out of it. Kudos for getting Robbie Benson, Paige O'Hara, and so forth back, but that's not Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Potts. I and the jokes in there are awful. Like you got Mrs. Potts saying that to the dictionary, "You're in hot water." Ha ha, get it? Because she's a teapot. She's got hot water. Get it? Get it? Get it? Okay. And so this is basically meant to be a TV pilot or a TV show. And even as a TV show, it wouldn't work because these characters are out of it. And I even said in my in my video of remakes, um, unlike the other TV shows like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Hercules, they could go a variety of places. Belle is stuck in the castle. Yeah, it's a huge castle, but there's not much to do. There's only so far you can get in a huge castle. And it just, it was just all wrong. And the just characters weren't likable. Even the ones that I liked from the first movie were not likable. And the Beast was completely out of character. Like one moment he actually likes I I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh yeah. Basically the first story was or this was a segment of four stories. The first story was about Belle and the Beast fighting over who apologizes first. Then then the next one is Lumiere being in love with the feather duster Fifi, and then the next one is Mrs. Potts feeling left out and having a party, and then the next one is about a bird with a broken wing. I watched this on Disney Plus, and I was spared from the Mrs. Potts story for some reason. But I should be grateful. I should be grateful that I didn't get to see it. I mean, did you guys see it and not like it? Or did you guys see the Mrs. Potts story? If you did, I am so sorry for you. And I'm so sorry if you watch that movie at all because little to nothing about this one is good. I mean, I give kudos for to the animation team for at least trying. I mean, because it's not easy and they were on a cheap budget, but the writers, the songwriters also, like Belle singing the lesson at the end was just lazy and cheap. And I mean, I feel bad for Paige O'Hara because she couldn't even save these songs. She could sound great, but she could not save the lyrics. And that's not necessarily her fault. She did what she was told. But the writers and the directors, they are totally to blame. However, there's still one thing that I do like from this movie. I like the meme of the Beast shouting, "I will never apologize." And I I turned I mean, and I I couldn't resist this. Somebody made a 5-second video of it, and I commented, M. Night Shyamalan to Avatar fans, "I will never apologize." That at least was worth it, but otherwise, Bill's magical trash, I hope you never watch it. And if you did, I am so sorry for you. Pocahontas 2. I have once again seen bits and pieces of this. I am going to put this in. I'm going to put this here. Meh, okay, could have been a lot better. I mean, obviously, it was trying to overcompensate for the fact that the first um, Pocahontas was historically inaccurate because in there she falls in love with John Smith and not John Rolfe. So they make her fall in love with John Rolfe in this one. Though, really, let's be fair, as its own movie, Pocahontas, John Smith and Pocahontas kind of had chemistry in that movie. It wasn't the best chemistry, but they still had chemistry. I did feel a little chemistry here too, and they are believable as a couple and grow to like each other and find things to like about each other and teach each other about their worlds. And I did like that. I also liked Pocahontas exploring England and also well getting to meet the king and queen for the first time. That actually was intriguing. I kind of also like that what I I guess on the one hand I kind of do like that John Radcliffe still has escaped justice and is trying to ruin Pocahontas' ambitions for trying to bring peace because he's going to get rich off this war. But the king is one of the weakest characters in here because he is so easily persuaded by both John Radcliffe in one moment and Pocahontas in the other moment. Like, it's too easy. Like, there needs to be backup and reasoning for both of them. John Radcliffe is like, we I this is a dangerous land. We need war. He never says how it's dangerous or why it's dangerous, just it's dangerous. And Pocahontas says, we're not dangerous. I Look at me the way I've come. And King's like, you're right. I cancel the war and arrest John Radcliffe. Like, that was too easy, and that was like little to no persuading. That's not how diplomacy works. I mean, you don't have to be thoroughly accurate about diplomacy, but you can at least try. So why did I put this in the meh could have been better? Well, I did like the chemistry between John Rolfe and Pocahontas, and I also like some of these songs, and the voice actress for Pocahontas, or the singing voice actress for Pocahontas, is amazing, and I love that song, Where Do I Go From Here? Both the first part and the reprise. It's gorgeous, and it's something I could believe Pocahontas singing. And that song actually helped me when I came to Pennsylvania for the very first time and left everything that I knew behind in California. So that song was a comfort to me. So kudos, Pocahontas, too. I So could have been better, but not bad. Lion King 2. I wonder where this goes. Right here. I Honestly, they didn't have. I mean, again, for some sequels, they did not have to go this hard, but I think Lion King. I mean, for the Lion King sequels, they had to because I Lion King is about as perfect a Disney movie as you can get, and Lion King 2 was actually amazing in its own right. Are there flaws? Well, totally. Is the animation a bit of a downgrade compared to the first movie? Totally. But you know what? Again, forgivable because they were on a smaller budget compared to the first movie. The first movie, they were given free range and they did everything they could. Lion King 2, they had to copy the animation as best as they could, and I think they did a great job. And I like some of these songs. I especially love "He Lives in You." I'm amazed that that song actually made it to the Broadway version of the first Lion King. I So kudos for that. And they not only continue the story from where it left off, but where the first one parodied Kimba the White Lion, I mean Hamlet. This one parodies Romeo and Juliet, except the leads live. As it's Disney, they're not going to kill off the leads. I But yeah, it's amazing what they did and how much effort there was in it. And I like that some of the main cast is back and some new ones too. The only flaw I ever had with this movie, and um, maybe you could explain this, Alpha Lion Simba or somebody, because I never got this. Um, I try to remember the names. Sorry. I, oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to look this up. Okay, so somehow Kovu is Scar's successor, and there were a pride of lions that liked Scar. Okay, I could kind of believe that, but Kovu somehow is both Scar's son and not Scar's son, even though he looks exactly like he could be related to Scar. I mean, and Zara's his mother, his father's gone. I mean, like, why couldn't he be Scar's son? And be known as the heir of Scar? Um, I don't know. Alpha, maybe you could explain the heritage of Kovu because I don't get it. And this movie sadly doesn't even make it clear for me. And but otherwise, I love this movie. I love the idea of this, and um, that I mean, and that basically it is two lions from different sides ultimately getting together, and that Mufasa has something to do with it, which is pretty cool. But I so yeah, I like the pacing of this movie. I like the plot of this movie. I like the way it's handled. So kudos to The Lion King 2 for giving it all it had to make it good. So, what about the rest of them? Let's see. Um, Winnie the Pooh Seasons of Giving. I haven't seen this one, but it definitely looks good. I don't know if it has the Cassie story or not, but I love Cassie. From the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I And then finally Leroy and Stitch unfortunately has to go in here. And it looks like I have so many never seen but looks good on here. So you guys tell me, um, am I missing something with these? Um, have I misjudged the worst absolutely hate? Have I misjudged the don't like? Um, or have I been too harsh on the never seen but don't look good um movies? You guys tell me. Do you agree? Disagree? I Let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed this. I And it was good to do this again. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and see you next time.